He's had better days. Weird incidents. See power cell. I'll take that just in case I need it. Snow globe. Another one. Is that blood? There's snow globe. Enter NASA. Why would this be entering NASA? Wires power. Is there enough power? Guess so.
Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. The recent delivery from Mars is unsettling. I was expecting rock samples or maybe fossils of microbial life. Instead, Dr. Victor Isa comes with 2 members of the military. Everything they brought back is under wraps. What could a theoretical physicist need with a sample from Mars? Station log. Dr. Judith Tatian. I've been trying to cozy up to Dr. Isa, Victor, to see what is going on. His team has completely commandeered one of the labs with those 2 military handrails, checking who comes in and out. I joked that maybe he found a little gray man and was doing an autopsy, and he grew very pale. 2 days later, he sends me a request asking for more information on my background in materials science, metallurgical engineering. We have a meeting tomorrow. I think I'm being invited into the lab. Conversation log. Dr. Judith Satien. I have never been so nervous since I defended my dissertation. 4 hours talking to Victor and his team about theoretical metals, atomic bonding, even a half-hour divergence into magnetism that I'm pretty sure was to throw me off the trail of what we were actually talking about. Then I got to see the lab. I don't know how much I should say, but the periodic table just got thrown out the window.
Okay. Which would make sense because we've already found elements already that don't exist on the periodic table. I'm pretty sure we've used to make stuff, so. Which is their first run into some of those elements. They expect all the elements in the universe to exist just on Earth and nowhere else. That's not reading. Wait a minute. Yep. Okay. Open the NASA, boys. Look around, see if there's anything to loot.
I just don't understand where these calculations came from.
There's something wrong with the math? I think it's quite straightforward.
That's not what I'm asking. We've had no success extracting even a sample of material from the object. No explanation for the gravitational effects, no motion graph to explain its harmonic frequencies. I can't even establish a melting point.
Judith.
But you've had me building these prototype colliders for months. And now you want me to pump helium-3 into it based on this equation you've written on a goddamn napkin?
I just need you to trust me.
I have been trusting you. We keep slamming our heads against a brick wall, getting nothing. And you keep coming up with something new to try. Like, you know what's going to happen. Where are you getting your information, Victor?
I'm sorry, Judith. Look, not here, okay? Somewhere off base. I'll tell you everything. But I'm not lying, okay? We're going to
I found
discover
an artifact on Mars.
important here. I promise.
That would explain the gravitational thing, and they can't extract any material from it. We can't do that already in our time. This is like, what, 200 years ago? Nothing in here. Door with nothing in it. I don't know what I'm expecting, but I'm expecting like a Terramorph random to come out and attack me. I don't know why. Another save. Going down a rabbit hole. Gonna find. Rare pistol we've gotten. And a lot of these emergency cells. By a lot, I mean like a lot. Maybe like 4 or 5 of them. Why can't we come over here if there's nothing over here? Oh, there are enemies. Actually, let's do manual save. Level 92. It's a fast cow. Damn it, Vasco. Unlocking things that don't do anything. A lot of explosives in this room. I don't like it. Behind me.
Project Log. Dr. Victor Isa. We turned on the prototype today. The gravitational field around it began to fold as we long suspected. Complete reversal of gravitational pull was observed on dozens of loose objects around the lab. I'm setting up a meeting with the directors to propose a larger test. The prototype proves we don't need the original anymore, but further work is going to have to take place in space. Somewhere with abundant helium-3 and with a civilian partner. Someone with access to large-scale manufacturing resources and computational equipment. Engineering gravitational folds pulling the far side of the solar system closer to us? It's all going to be possible.
It's the beginning of the grav drive.
Project Log. Dr. Judith Tatien. I watched the grav jet tests from the moon today. It was the first time we were able to talk to the team at Nova Galactic directly. So many things were under wraps before, but now everyone wants all the publicity they can get. I'm already seeing proposals for manufacturing androids of drives, expeditions to Alpha Centauri and beyond. It's also overwhelming and worrying. It could take years, decades, before we know what all the side effects of operating a grav drive can be, but no one wants to hear that right now. Like a bunch of pioneers racing towards the edges of the frontier without knowing about the grizzly bears in the mountains.
Is that what destroyed Earth? Is that what they're getting at? Okay. Just did the same thing. I'm kind of floating, boys. Escape. Okay, it's a red door we can't access. that Victor guy.
I never actually got to visit your labs back when we were working on the grav drive projects.
Seems like ancient history now. Only thing we're doing these days is launching weather satellites.
Guess this is as good a retirement as any. Now, Project Demeter, you want our help manufacturing scanners to better track these new meteorological patterns we're seeing.
Our guess is that the poles might be naturally shifting, causing some gravitational fluctuations that are throwing off our old models.
Why do you need the scanning tolerances to be so small? What are you trying to find?
I just want to be sure. It's not like we're doing much these days anyway. The glory days are over. Why not give ourselves a challenge before they write us off in the history books?
I know what I'm seeing, Victor. The data coming back from the satellites is very clear. It's the grav drives.
All those jumps from the moon. At this rate, Earth's atmosphere is going to start sputtering out into space.
Can the drives be fixed?
I'm working on some designs that should discreetly solve the problem, under the guise of an emergency update to the fueling pumps.
We're talking about the end of Earth, and you're trying to be subtle about it.
Judith, the last thing we need is people losing faith in grav drive technology. That might be our only option.
To what? Are you seriously saying we should abandon Earth?
The timeline is under 50 years. A blink of an eye for a planet, but more than enough time for a human exodus.
And what do we tell people?
We say it's an act of God, one that science has found a solution for. Time for humanity to take its place in the stars.
You knew, didn't you? You lied to me. All this time. I dedicated my life to this discovery, Victor. And you knew we were going to kill off our planet?
You haven't seen the future I've seen. There's an infinite expanse of promise out there. A meteor could hit Earth, a plague, another world war. Colonizing other galaxies secures humanity's future for all coming generations, across all time.
At the expense of our home.
Stop it, both of you! All that matters is building enough ships to get everyone off this planet. And we need to start now.
I'll draft up a statement. We'll need to address the entire international community. I'm sorry, Judith.
There isn't a planet in this universe that will be far enough away from you, Victor. We are never speaking again after this is over.
My name is Dr. Victor Isa.
My birthday.
And if you're listening to this, then you probably already know the truth. I was young when I first headed the retrieval team of an odd gravitational anomaly on Mars. But I kept what really happened that day hidden from everyone except one other person. Even she didn't believe me at first. But I have no reason to lie to anyone now, so I hope you'll accept this confession, whoever you are. When I touched the anomaly, I experienced 12 days of lost time. I met myself. He told me everything that has since come true. The grav drive equations, the tests on the moon, Earth's atmosphere sputtering away because of what we had done. But he also told me about a city thriving on a planet orbiting a distant star. Human culture, art, music, lifestyles evolving and shining brightly across all of space. What price would I be willing to pay for that future? Maybe you don't believe me. Maybe Judith was right and I'm just a coward who wants to believe his mistakes were justified. But everyone has forgotten about the real origins of the grav drive, this artifact from Mars. I hope you make better use of it than I did.
Okay, so he was told by another version of himself when he touched the artifact. We have not met another version of ourselves when we touched the artifact at all. We've seen a bunch of going through weird galaxies and whatever. So why he spent 12 days talking to himself about things that's going to happen doesn't make any real sense. Because that's like a paradox in and of itself. But the fact that he was told doing this would destroy Earth, did it anyway. Even though he was told what was needed to happen to fix the grav drive, he decided not to do that to fix the grav drive and had a grav drive that was not going to destroy the planet originally. Why didn't he just make the grav drive not have that problem that was going to destroy the Earth? Maybe the prototype could not be changed that way because, not the prototype, but the original grav drive, because it had the artifact in it. Maybe doing tests with that is what caused the Earth's destruction, which is my guess. That could not be tampered with, but when they got a prototype up that could do what the one with the artifact could do, that one then could be changed and altered, and that is probably what happened. That's my guess. So by the time they actually had that ability, they really destroyed Earth's atmosphere. So they're willing to sacrifice Earth for reaching the stars.
Installation. We've arrived on the surface of Earth. We need to discuss what you found.
And it looks like other Starborn got here before us. So, you might have company.
Really tanky. Guess you can't loot the Starborn. Every Starborn I kill, I get an essence. It means, but I get it. Or 14 plus the. No, I don't think that's anything. So 6 more. I'm gonna say +1 because we spent 1, but I reloaded that, so we didn't actually spend 1. Actually,
Do you understand now why I asked you to come here? The artifacts unlocked the secret of interstellar travel, at the cost of Earth.
An easy trade, honestly. Why have one world when you can have all the settled systems?
Every grav drive in the settled systems was built on technology that came from an artifact that was discovered on Mars. But these early drives shook the gravity field surrounding Earth. Eventually, the atmosphere started to slowly sputter away into space. That's why Earth is uninhabitable. The artifact gave the scientists a greater understanding of time and space, but not the wisdom to see where that would lead.
The settled systems wouldn't exist without the artifacts, in other words. We owe what happened here in NASA a great debt. Assuming we weren't going to lose it anyway. War, disease, famine, all the classics.
Don't you see? The power of the artifact forced humanity to the stars. They didn't get to make a choice. How many would have chosen Earth? What gave Victor Isa the right to choose for them?
You see the hypocrisy in what the emissary is saying, right? They don't want to rob people of their free will, but then they steal the artifacts for themselves.
In the wrong hands, the power of the artifacts can make anyone a tyrant. That's why we watch over them. The only thing you're watching out for is yourself.
what this option does. Does it make them both my enemy?
Don't be a fool. The emissary and I may have our differences, but you do not want to give us a common enemy.
For once, he's right. Don't do this. We can collect the final pieces together.
Well, look at that. The emissary just became my new best friend.
You've made your choice. When you're ready, the Hunter and I will be at the buried temple. That's where we'll settle things.
Meaning, we'll kill you. But hey, at least we'll wait. The final round doesn't start until there's only one artifact left to gather. And if I'm not mistaken, Constellation has 1 or 2 to go.